The day 30 of communication practice with ChatGPT. So let's bring her up. Morning, ChatGPT.
Morning, Nark. How's it going?
Everything's fine. It's a new week today, and today I just also want to practice communication. I want to focus on the fluency and the slow rate of my speech. Can you help me with that?
Absolutely. We can practice by having a conversation. I'll give you feedback on your fluency and pace as we go. Do you have a specific topic in mind, or should we just chat?
We should just chat.
Sounds good. How about you tell me about your weekend?
Okay. During last weekend, um, let's start with the Saturday morning. I woke up, do my exercise, enjoy the sharing at my company online, and spend the rest of the day reading blogs and learning from YouTube videos. And yesterday was Sunday, which is quite the same. I woke up, did my exercise, um, spent my whole morning on reading blogs and watching YouTube videos, and I slept all the afternoon. And at the yesterday night, evening, I read book.
Nice. It sounds like a relaxing weekend. You did well slowing down your speech. One suggestion try pausing a bit more between thoughts. Also, instead of I spent my whole morning on reading blogs, you can say I spent my whole morning reading blogs. Great job.
Thank you. Ready for the next question?
Awesome. Let's keep going. What's something you're looking forward to this week?
Hmm. Okay, so let me check my calendar. Let's
Take
see, what do I have here? This
no.
week, okay, this week I gonna have to interview at Techcombank, so I'm better prepared for the interview, so that I actually will be the interviewer. So better look up their CV and um, want to know about their competency. The book actually the book that I read yesterday was about EQ interview, and I want to practice that this week. Also, I will have a chain request to go live this week, so I better prepare everything ahead to deal with those. And about my personal life, I want to practice communication um, and join the Master Voice program class. And so I finished the basic course, the starter, and I'm applying for the level up course. So in the middle time, I want to note down what I learned and practice those.
That sounds like a busy but exciting week.
Hmm.
You did well. Let's break down your plans step by step. First, for the interview, focusing on the candidate's CV and competencies is a great approach. For the change request, prepping everything in advance is smart. For your personal goals, applying what you've learned in your voice program will be beneficial. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you want to practice any specific part, just let me know.
I want to continue chatting like this.
Sounds good. What's on your mind now?
I want to break down the plan for the week. Can you help me with that?
Of course, let's break it down. What's your top priority for the week?
So let me check the calendar again. Um, the my top priorities is the CR, the change requests. I have to done the documentation and the merge request coding part for it. Then I would want to focus on the interview, uh, and finally I want to practice my communication.
Got it. Let's break it down. First, set a timeline for the change request. Maybe finish documentation by midweek and the coding by Friday. Then focus on reviewing the CVs before the interview. Finally, set aside some time daily for communication practice. How does that sound?
That's how lovely. It's actually what I am doing right now, practicing communication with you.
Perfect. You're already on track. We'll keep practicing and I'll help you stay focused on your goals.
Mm, yeah, sure. Ready for the next question?
Awesome. What's the next question on your mind?
Mm, I'm thinking about how to. Can you guide me to notice the other emotion, since I couldn't, do the eye contact, or I couldn't know exactly what they meant or what they feel um, behind their words, and I want to practice on that.
Sure, to pick up on emotions without eye contact, focus on their tone of voice and pace. If they sound hesitant or their pace changes, it can indicate emotions like uncertainty or excitement. Listening closely to word choice helps too, like if they use strong or vague words. Any specific scenarios you want to practice?
How about their facial expression? Is that important?
Facial expressions can be important, but if you can't see them, rely more on tone and context. If someone's voice is upbeat or soft, that gives clues. Also, pay attention to what's being said. If you're unsure, it's okay to ask for clarification. Practice makes perfect.
Okay. And I also get annoyed when receiving negative feedback or negative concerns, which is actually not so good in my professional life. And I want to practice slowing down and receive those negative feedback with an optimistic mindset and respond thoroughly and slowly and thoughtfully. So, how can I practice on that?
That's a great goal. When receiving negative feedback, take a deep breath before responding. This gives you a moment to process. Focus on the content, not the tone, and look for constructive points. You can practice by role playing scenarios where you receive feedback. I'll give feedback, and you can practice responding thoughtfully. How does that sound?
That's how lovely. Let's do it.
Great. Here's some feedback. I noticed you sometimes speak quickly, which can make it hard to follow. Slowing down would help convey your points more clearly. Now, take a moment and respond when you're ready.
Yes, your observation is correct. I myself can found my myself actually speaking too fast sometime, and I didn't know how to slow myself down. I tried many approaches, and is I couldn't stick with this long enough. I keep forgetting. So thanks for your observation. But do you have any recommendation for my scenario?
Absolutely. A good trick is to practice pausing after each sentence. You can also record yourself speaking and listen back. It's about building awareness. Let's try another response, focusing on pausing. Ready?
I'm ready.
Great. Here's another piece of feedback. Sometimes, when explaining complex ideas, You can add more examples for clarity. Take your time and respond when you're ready.
Okay, that's a really interesting advice, and I want to know more about the details or the context. Can you give me an example of where I could put an example to clarify my idea?
Sure, let's say you're explaining a data pipeline. Instead of just describing the process, you could say, for instance, when data flows from Adobe CDP to the MSK raw topic, it transforms from raw JSON to a standardized format. This helps paint a clearer picture.
Okay, that sounds good.
Glad it helps. Any specific topics you'd like to practice adding examples to?
How about normal conversation with colleagues?
Great idea. For a normal conversation, if you're sharing a project update, you could say, for example, we streamlined data processing last week, which reduced processing time by 30%. This makes your point concrete.
Okay, and can you do a role play with me so that I can practice what you just said?
Absolutely. Let's say we're discussing a recent project. I'll ask, hey, how's the data processing project going? Go ahead.
The data processing project is on track. Currently, we have coded uh, everything, and we are preparing the documentation for the change request to be go live on this weekend.
Great update. Could you add an example to show how it improved efficiency?
The efficiency is improved by using the old template of other CR.
Nice. You're showing how leveraging existing resources boosts efficiency. Keep practicing those examples and you'll get even more comfortable.
Okay, so I'm ready for the final question.
Awesome. What's your final question for today?
I don't know, you name it.
All right. How about this? What's one goal you'd like to accomplish by the end of the week?
That's a really nice question. The one goal I want to achieve this week maybe is maybe the least prioritized but the most important to me, which is improving my communication. I want to communicate with clarity and authenticity.
That's a fantastic goal. Focusing on clarity and authenticity will make a big difference. Keep practicing and you'll see progress. You've got this.
Okay, thank you very much, ChatGPT, and I see you tomorrow.